So fine. As we discussed the last time, we started the topic of performance management, and as I told you, the most important aspect is the goal setting. Most of the organizations make mistake here. Most of the organization fail to set the right targets, and which is where the performance also lacks. Now this is something, though this is an activity used in performance management, but then there's a very different subject, and this is a very, as I told you, there's a very successful training program from Franklin Covey. They say discipline of effective goal settings. So it talks about how to set the goal. So you'll come across many different new terms here. They may not be essentially HR terms, but yes, it's this session is all about goal setting. We will see this and then we will relate it to HR, how in our performance management we relate to this. So we'll begin with this. Whenever you are setting goals or you are doing goal setting for your organization, for your team, for whatever, there is this term called WIG or WIG, and this is also known as wildly important goals. Now, what Franklin Covey says, you must focus on wildly important goals. Whenever you are setting goals for yourself, you must focus on what are wildly important goals. So what do you mean by wildly important? Have you come across this term anytime whenever you are studying, or there's the first time that you are hearing this?
First time
No,
I'm
sir.
listening this way, Vivek.
Wildly important goals simply means choose all those things that can fail you or that are wildly important to achieve. So let's say Mahesh, what is your goal? Have you thought of, you must have dreamt of some goal in life or next 1 year or next 5 years that you would wish to achieve. It could be any goal. It could be, finding a job with a decent salary. Let's say you have a salary bracket, or let's say you have a designation, or the goal could be I'll accumulate this wealth by this time. It could be any goal. So what happens, what it's trying to say is, when it comes to goal setting, half the time we fail to choose the right goals. And then this question is to all of you. Let's say if you have to set a goal for yourself today for next 5 years, what would be your goal? Let's say 2021 is going on. Let's say we are sitting on March 2026. Where do you want to be? What do you think do you want to be there? Or what is that you wish to achieve over the next 5 years? You can, this is your life. You would have your own aspirations. Tell me, what are those goals?
To start a business on my own without any financial support.
Start a business on your own, one thing.
Yes. And parallelly, to just grow into my professional life in the relevant field.
No, when you start a business, you're growing in your professional life only. No, how are the two goals different?
The business, it's like a side hustle, Vivek bhai, it would be right.
No, business could be a main hustle also. No, side hustle. What is side hustle? You
Focusing
cannot.
on a,
You see, side hustle is a process. Now, this
okay.
is good that you have raised this point. Side hustle is a process. What is your goal? Do you want to
Goal is,
always do? Do you wish to do side hustle in your life?
no.
Your goal is to become a businessman, right?
Yes.
So your goal is becoming a businessman. Your goal is not a side hustle. Side hustle
Correct.
could be a process. till the time you have a financial independence, you will continue doing a job and parallelly you will start a business.
Correct.
So now again my question, 2026, what is your goal?
The same one. I just keeping job as a side hustle. I just want to start my own business.
So you want to start your businesses by 2026?
Yes.
Good, one goal. What is the other goal? Is there any other goal?
Mm, no, this is my 5 year, like a long term goal, Vivek. By before turning to 30, I have to start my own business.
So let's assume this is 2026 ka goal is you want to start your own business.
Yes.
Hmm? ठीक है. Anyone else? Vivek goal is for 2022 only. Clear eyelids and settles out somewhere in Middle East or in Canada or in Australia or in some country out of India. Right, Vivek?
Yes, yes, some country.
Huh. Which country?
Anyway, uh, first preference is Canada. Then let's see how it goes.
See, we discussed in the last session, goal has to be very
Specific.
concrete. So your goal is you want to be in Canada.
Yes.
Any other goal?
Nope.
Nazmi, what is your goal? Let's say your goal is to somehow start a career in HR.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Shavni wants to be a manager very soon, taking care of complete HR. Now, if you see, along with this, when you start thinking, when you start planning, no, many other things will come to your mind. Okay, like Mahesh will think, yes, business. Now we'll say, Mahesh, this is granted. By 2026, you will have your own business. Then second thing will come to Mahesh, yeah, I must have, at least 10 crores in my account. I must have a house. I must have a big car. I must have this. I must have that. And everything becomes a goal. And that is where Franklin Covey says you should choose only one or two kind of goals because you cannot achieve everything. So if you have multiple goals in your life, you're bound to get distracted. And same is applicable to your business as well. So you all would have watched Mahabharata or seen Mahabharata or read about it. Remember there was something, where that Arjun had to, shot at a fish's eye.
Yes.
If your goal is a fish's eye, you should only see that goal. And that is what it says, a wildly important goal. If Mahesh's ambition is to set up a business and it is so important for him that he cannot afford to lose that, then this is something which is wildly important. If this doesn't happen, I will lose. So whatever goal you set, the goal has to be it has to be a wildly important goal that cannot be avoided. Multiple goals will always distract you. So it says maximum focus on two, three wildly important goals. You cannot achieve more than this without getting distracted. And eventually, what will happen? You will not achieve anything. So, first mantra is it says you must always focus on two, three wildly important goals. Now, why I'm telling and why I'm teaching this is not just about organization goal setting, this is goal setting in general. Whether you are setting it for organization, whether you are doing it for yourself, whether you are doing it for your team, these are the principles, these are the guidelines that you must follow. So first thing is focus on maximum two, three wildly important goals. Stay focused on them and say no to multiple good ideas. When you think of goals, when you think of your future, many things will come to your mind. And you have to be wise enough to choose one or two most important or most critical ones. Everything else can be avoided. Is this clear?
Yes, Vivek.
So first thing is we must focus on wildly important goals. Now, what are the focus traps? Focus traps are something that can, um, take your attention away and you digress from it. So the two major focus traps are saying yes to all good ideas. And you would have noticed it. Let's say, um, let's say you are a group of friends. Vacation is approaching or weekend is approaching, and you guys, because and now why I'm taking this example is because this commonly happens with each one of us, or this would have
Yes.
happened so many times. Weekend is approaching. Question comes, yeah, let's go on a weekend outing. Other question, where should we go? And you start thinking, and you get multiple ideas in mind. We can go to this place, we can do this, we can do that, and you always get confused. And this is where it says, when you start thinking, multiple ideas will come to you. In fact, when you are thinking about your career, when you are thinking about your future, you will have multiple options in your mind. You will have to focus on one or two of them because you cannot do everything. You cannot focus on everything. So first focus trap is where we start accepting everything. Okay, I'll look for a job also, I'll start a business also. This happened with me, when I came out of my corporate life, and the day I decided to start a business of mine, the journey has been turbulent. I didn't face much success in the beginning, and I had my own pressures. And best thing is that I had the whole surrounding with all the advices and opinions. And a lot of opinion came to me, Vivek, why don't you take up a part-time job? Why don't you take up a job side by side, like Mahesh said, parallelly you start setting up your business. And one day when you feel your business is giving good money, you leave the job.
Yes.
I didn't choose that. I went through a major turbulence. I faced all those things, but I knew I cannot be on two boats. I cannot work and set up a business parallelly. It will take away my focus because I'll get so engaged in the work that I'll never be able to focus on the business. And which is why I just ignored all those opinions. And I'm happy that I did. Today, at least, we are shaping up. Skill Hub is becoming a brand. People have started doing is for HR. All this has been possible because the focus was
Indra?
there in building this. So you cannot have multiple goals together. So the first focus trap is when you start saying yes to all good ideas. All the ideas that come to you sound very good. You have to choose which are those one or two ideas that can fail you achieve your vision. What it says is turning everything in the whirlwind into a goal. What is a whirlwind? You must be knowing the literal meaning of whirlwind, no? When you think, you get flurry of ideas, and every idea looks good, and you get lost in this. I'll do this also, I'll do this also, I'll do this also, and you start working on 4 or 5 things, and you're not able to complete any one of it also. So that is what it says as two major focus trap. Don't say yes to all good ideas that come to you, and everything that comes to you in your mind cannot be a goal. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, Vivek bhai.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'll move to the next. Now, how do you choose a wildly important goal? And remember the thumb rule, not more than 2-3 wildly important goals. Even if it is one by wildly important goal, it is good. It says have only one wildly important goal per person or department at the same time. One person cannot have 2-3 goals. One person can focus on only one goal. And if you see, this is how organizations work. So now the company where Mahesh is working, their focus, there are certain goals. HR is to help them achieve those goals. Now, if you see in HR, for sourcing, there are different candidates. Mahesh has been into sourcing, even Vivek has been into sourcing. And once they source the profile, there are different people who focus on the quality of those candidates, how to select them. So each individual is given a different target, and their target is to focus on their elements. One person cannot handle multiple things. Now, Shravani may get confused a little here. The poor girl is doing everything in HR. But your organization is small, Shravani, because the scale of work is not so high, which is why they are looking for a single person only which can take care of complete HR. As you grow, as the organization grow, your work will also get divided. Currently, the quantum of work is not much. That is the reason you are alone doing that. So one thing, the base thing, have only one wildly important goal per person. Wildly important goal must represent only one aspect of the work. So if the goal is sourcing good candidates, it must only focus on sourcing. It should not get into recruiting. It should not get into selection. It's only sourcing. Choose a wildly important goal that represents the most critical gap. Now, what is the most critical gap? If this is not met, it will fail you in the project. You're in the overall goal. So it's like, let's say you want to become engineer. Now your wildly important goal is to become engineer. Now you are studying, let's say you are in class 10th. Your focus is on passing the exam. Now if you fail the 10th exam, your main goal of becoming an engineer will fail because you cannot move ahead. So goal should be such that can fail your overall vision, overall objective. Your vision in life was to become like Mahesh. Ka vision is to set up a business of its own. Mahesh, what will make you to set up that business? Why you are not starting the business now?
Like lack of financial support and
Lack of
the same.
financial support. So if you do not have sufficient finance, you cannot achieve your career goal or your life objective, right?
Yes.
So a wildly important goal for you at this stage is, let's say you have decided you need 50 lakh rupees to start a business.
Yeah.
So your wildly important goal is to accumulate 50 lakh rupees over, let's say, next 5 years. Because the day you have 50 lakh rupees, you can concentrate on your business and you can start doing it. So the wildly important goal for you is to accumulate 50 lakh rupees over the next 5 years.
Yes.
Because if you don't achieve these 50 lakh rupees, you cannot start your business.
Correct.
It's like our parents had given us a goal. Unless you complete your graduation, you cannot get a job. Period. So we struggled, we just got whatever college, Whatever course we got, we just completed it because we wanted to be a graduate. Because we were told from the very beginning, if you are not graduate, you cannot get a job. Your goal was to become a graduate. So this a widely important goal is this must represent the most critical gap, without which you cannot move towards your career goal. See, it's everything is being linked. One is your individual career goal, and then you set your goal, how to achieve it. Let's not use the term goal again and again. So there is an ambition. There is an objective that Mahesh wants to start a business. Or let's say I want to become an engineer, or I want to become a graduate to get a job. That is what my life aim is. For that, one wildly important goal Mahesh has set, Mahesh wants to accumulate 50 lakh rupees. Or I want to pass this exam to become that. And unless I pass the exam, I cannot be a graduate. Right? So we need to choose a wildly important goal that represents the most critical gap. Don't just choose what is more important, but choose what is at maximum risk. Have you heard about urgent and important?
Urgent and important. It's a similar words, but having a different meanings, Vivek bhai.
See, it happens in life so many times.
The need or want can be
Correct. You can say need or want also. See, at times you are at the crossroad. You don't know what to do. There are things in front of you that sounds very urgent. There are things in front of you that are very important. What is important might not be urgent. And what is urgent might not be important. So there are four angles to it. There is urgent, there is important, there is urgent but not important, then there is important but not urgent. Which one do you choose?
Choose urgent thing first, Vivek bhai.
You have to choose something which is urgent and important both. See, if it is urgent, but it is not important,
No use.
then no point, no, you can delay it. Nothing wrong will happen.
Yeah.
It is important, but it is not urgent. That means you still have some time. That is fine. There are at times, there are ideas that are coming which are neither urgent nor important. Don't waste your time. Then there are some things that are urgent as well as important. And these are the things that must be taken on priority. So when you are choosing the goals, don't just choose what is important, but choose what is at maximum risk, means which is urgent and important both. One good example which happened with me. Last month, you all know, I was into a medical emergency.
Yes.
Right? How it happened, I had a session at 12:30. And around 12 o'clock, I was feeling, unwell. I had to avoid that. Somehow it happened. But finally, when all the things happened, my health became urgent and important both. I had to push everything. I had to stop everything. I had to visit. I had to be in hospital and get that treated. Because if I had avoided that, you never know what would have happened. So you must choose what is at the maximum risk. What does that mean? Means if you don't do this, your main goal, your target will not be able to achieve. Right?
Yes.
And another important thing, each wildly important goal must have a clear finish line. What is a clear finish line? Means there has to be a goal, has to be a target. A goal cannot be I'll become a businessman. Like
Yes,
Mahesh said, I want to start a business. By
it
when?
should be.
By
Yes,
when? What business? Where? All those things are. So there has to be a clear finish line for it. Means you should be able to measure it whether you are moving towards your goal or not.
correct.
Right? You guys are very silent, only Mahesh is speaking. I hope you guys are understanding it. Or
Yes,
else
sir.
stop me. Oh, Taruna is here.
Yes, I am here.
How are you? Good.
I'm good. Yes, sir.
But you came and Shravani went. Something wrong between two of you. Chalo. I'm recording this, Taruna. So in case you have missed out something, you will get there. But there's a very important aspect that we are discussing today is the goal setting. So this is a Franklin Covey program of how to do effective goal setting, and that is what principles that we are discussing it. And there is a very important aspect for performance management. I'll have a discussion with you separately because you have missed a couple of classes. We'll see how we cover that.
Okay,
Fine.
sure, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll discuss tomorrow afternoon.
Sure, sir.
Chalo. So act on the lead measures. Now, wildly important goal we have understood, right? Something
Yes,
that cannot be avoided. Something that we wish to achieve, that we cannot afford to avoid, is a wildly important goal. Thumb rule: you should not have more than 2-3 wildly important goals. When it comes to your team, each individual must only cater to one goal, because more than one goal a person cannot manage. Now let's say we have set our goals, and our goal is that by 2026 Mahesh will start a business. Now, sitting in 2021, can we predict whether Mahesh is going to start business in 2026? We cannot. And if Mahesh is very confident that he will start a business in 2026, this is nothing but an emotion. He is confident. He is sure that he will start a business. But is there a way that we can, and whether we can predict whether he can achieve this goal or not? We have no way to know that. And that is what Franklin Covey says. If your goal is not measurable, if you cannot predict whether the goal will be achieved or not, then there is a problem. Why there is a problem is because whether you achieve your goal or not, you will only come to know at the end of the term. So let's say we start with a expectation today that 2026 Mahesh will start a business. Now, flash forward, we are in 2026. But due to whatever reason, Mahesh could not start the business. We have basically lost 5 years in the process. Now that means Mahesh will have to set his target again, will have to maybe need another 5 years to set up. So he has lost 5 important years in his life. Right?
yes,
So if you have a mechanism that can help you predict whether you are moving towards your goal or not, then you are on the right track. And this is what is known as lead measures. Lead measures are the indicators, or rather predictors, that help you understand whether you are going to achieve your goal or not. They are not a result, they are not a guarantee, but they only showcase that, boss, if you are moving in this way, you may achieve your goals. or you may not be able to achieve your goals.
Just like our performance, we are just getting evaluated.
Pardon?
Just like our performance evaluation, Vivek, right?
Performance evaluation is something else.
Okay.
This is indicators.
Okay.
Yes, Taruna, you are right. The goals must be smart. In fact, we discussed about the goals in the previous session. What are smart goals? I'll share that with you. But here we are talking about what should be our goal. Of course, whatever goal we choose, it has to be a smart goal. That's what we said, the goal has to have a clear finish line. It has to be a measurable. Now, let's say for instance, I say, no, this is, an advice given to me. This is kind of a prescription given to me. My doctor said you should lose another 15 kgs of weight. Now, let's say I set a target for myself. In next 1 year, I'll lose 15 kgs. Or let's say next 6 months, I'll lose 15 kgs. Whether I lose 15 kgs or not, when will I come to know? When I actually achieve it or that period comes to an end. Let's say I have set a target for myself. In next 6 months, I lose 15 kgs. So there are only two conditions. Either I lose 15 kgs or else at the end of the 6 month, I'll come to know how much I have lost. Right? Getting the point?
Yes, Vivek.
The point I'm trying to drive here is I will have to wait for 6 months to know whether I achieved the goal or not. If I achieved the goal, good. If I didn't achieve the goal, I have lost 6 months. And there is no way I can recover those 6 months. This is where lead indicators come to the picture. Now, the lead indicators are the indicators that we set that gives us an assurance that yes, we are moving towards our goal. For example, when we were studying, our parents had set the goal for us, no? My child will become a doctor or an engineer or a chartered accountant or whatever. Isn't it? That was the final goal. And then what were the indicators? What is marks you scored in class 10th? If you scored less, you got a scolding. Because this way you cannot become an engineer. This way you cannot become a doctor. The marks that you scored in those classes gave a reassurance that yes, you are on the right track and you will be able to achieve your goal. Isn't it?
Right.
But that was not a guarantee. You might have scored good marks in 10th and 12th, and by the time you reached a graduation, you lost your interest. I don't want to be an engineer. I want to become a doctor. Or I want to start a business. Or everyone wants to become a Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg now. So these are only indicators, and these indicators are known as lead measures. So we set up what are those, and this is a very usual practice. Forget about the technical terms. This is all we do, no? We set our milestones. Do you have any example that any of you want to share? The silence is dangerous. Kritik is also here.
Actually, we are
Yes.
reflecting, sir. We are reflecting by
When
ourselves.
did you come? So anyone can give any example? Chalo. Let me continue like this only. Lead measures are the activities that are most predictive of achieving the goals. They are predictive of goals achievement and they are easier to influence. They are not obvious to measure and create a maximum impact on widely important goals. For example, as I was discussing, let's say I set a target, in next 6 months I'll lose 15 kgs of weight. That is a target, and I'll only come to know at the end of the 6 month whether I lost 15 kgs weight or not. Now, how do I know whether I'm moving towards my goal? So I'll set some indicators. Now my indicators are, first thing is, how will I lose goals? How will I lose 15 kgs? I say I will put a diet control. I'll do maybe some exercises. I'll go on a walk or a running or whatever. So I'll set these indicators. If I'm controlling my diet, if I'm walking every day, the number of steps, or I'm doing some minutes of exercise or yoga or X things that I'm doing, it will help me achieve my goal. Now I'll start measuring them, and how much I measure them gives me a confidence whether I'm moving towards my goal or not. And this is a very real example because I've done it. This is about last year before lockdown, or rather 2 years back, within 6 months I had lost 15 kgs of weight. With only just one thing, I used to measure how much activities I do every day, or how much physical activity that I do, or how much calorie intake that I take. And just by measuring these two things, I was always on the target and I could achieve my target before the time. And that is what even in organization happens. When you set a goal for yourself, there are lead measures. Lead measures are the indicators whether you are moving towards your goal or not. Now, let's say you all are into HR, you are into recruitment mostly. Let's say the target for you is to, let's say, close 100 positions. Now, your goal is to close 100 position and you have to achieve 100 goal. But how will you do that? To close 100 positions, you must source at least 500 or 1000 profiles. So that could be one indicator. If you are not able to source profiles, you are bound to fail. Because if you don't have a profile, how will you recruit? Even if you get a profile, you will have to schedule some interviews, some screening sessions, some assessment sessions. So all those numbers can be the indicators whether you are moving towards your goal or not. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So lead indicators are basically the indicators that help you predict whether you will achieve your goals or not. They are not the result, they are not an assurance, they are not a guarantee, but they are just an indicator. So these indicators are known as lead measures. The lead measures connect the real work to the goals. Means to achieve your goals, you'll do certain activities. Lead measures are the measure of those activities. What are the activities that you do to achieve your goal? Without these activities, you cannot achieve your goal. And these activities, you set small milestones. Fine. So it's like you have decided to travel. Let's say you have decided to walk 2,000 kilometers. Now you cannot walk 2,000 kilometers in one day or in one stretch. So what you do is, to watch 2,000 kilometers, you set small milestones. Let's say you decide to take 10 days and each day you will walk 10 to 200 kilometers. So you will rest for these many hours. You will take a break of this many minutes or this duration. So these are the actions that you do to achieve your goal. And these actions will predict whether you are going to achieve your goal or not. And so lead measures connect the real work to the goals. So we started with wildly important goals. Then came the lead measure. Now will come the another term which is called lag measures. Now lag measures tell you how much you have achieved. Lag measures tell you if you have achieved your goal or not. Lag measures track the success of wildly important goals. Lag are the measure you spend time losing your sleep. They are things like revenue, profit, quality, and customer satisfaction. These lag measures are actual measurement of your goals. So like, let's say for instance, Mahesh had a goal of, setting up a business. And what does he need to set up a business? He said, I need 15 lakhs of revenue or 15 lakhs of funds. To do that 15 lakhs or 50 lakhs of fund, he decided to do 5 different activities. Now, how much he have achieved during those activities or how much of fund he has accumulated is what your lag measure is. Okay, let's say you have set a milestone. Okay, first year I'll accumulate 5 lakhs. Next year I'll do 10 lakhs and every year you're going to increase. So end of the first year you measure whether you could achieve 5 lakhs or not. If you have achieved 5 lakhs, you're on your target. But if you have not achieved your 5 lakhs, you are under pressure. And immediately what happens? Whatever is the shortfall gets passed on to the next cycle. Getting it? Any questions?
Lag measures we can predict whether we are running into
Lag
the
measures and no, Mahesh, lag measures are not predictors. Lag measures are the result that you achieve. So what happens is you cannot achieve 50 lakhs in immediately, no? So you
yes.
set different milestones. In first year I'll do this, second year I'll do this, third year I'll do this. So end of the first year you evaluate. So like the performance appraisal that happens for you. You have an annual appraisal, right?
Yes.
For the year you had set your goals. End of the year, March, when you sit with the appraiser, you get to know whether you have achieved it or not. Lag measure, you cannot do anything. Whether you achieve or you don't achieve, you cannot change it. But lead measure can help you readjust your activities so that you achieve your goals. You know, you go for medical examination often, no? There are people who have this habit like every 3 months or every 6 months they go and visit doctor and get their checkup done.
Yes.
Those are lead measures. They're indicating everything is right or not.
Okay.
So that if there is some problem, they can correct it.
Yes.
Before you fell sick, you are taking preventive measures.
Okay.
So lag measure is when it happens to you. I
Got
was in
it.
the hospital bed. I could not do anything. I could not change my past. I had to
Yes.
undergo that treatment. Now I have to take precaution measure so that it doesn't happen again. I cannot correct my past. Lead measure is where you have time to change it, to make adjustment so that it doesn't happen or so that you achieve whatever you have targeted. Lag measure is you know whether you have achieved it or not. Understood, Mahesh?
Both lead measures and lag measures, it's a kind of decision.
Lead measures, again, as I said, these are just indicators.
Indicators. Okay,
Based on the indicators, you take decision.
got it.
Whether you should continue the same way or whether you should change it.
Yes.
Let's say you have made a target for yourself कि I'll do one closure every day.
Okay.
Or let's say your target is you will do 30 closure in a month.
Yes.
Now you are seeing, 2 days have gone, you have not done any closure. Or let's say you are not able to arrange resumes. You're not able to source
Okay.
profiles. That means
Yes.
you need to do some corrective measure.
That should be comes under lag measure then.
No, though that is lead. The activities that you do is your lead measure.
Okay.
Sourcing a profile is your lead measure. Your target or your goal or your measure is getting the people selected. People will only get selected when you source them and when you source the right candidates. So let's say if you're not able to source the candidate, you are bound to fail.
Yeah.
Let me correct it. Otherwise, but lag measure is when I come to know whether I was able to do 30 closure or not. I'll show you some examples. Wait.
Sure.
Why do we need lead and lag measures? So knowing where we are going is critical, but knowing how to get there is equally important. No, I want to set up my business is good. That is my goal. But how will I achieve that? It's not that one fine day I'll just start my business. There are a lot of preparations that I need to do. We should know how do I reach there. Or it's like my doctor said, you have to lose weight. How will I lose weight? There are certain actions there are certain activities that I need to do. So knowing how to achieve or how to get to the result is very important. Often it's easy defining where we are going. Our objective or primary key performance indicators for a business example, increase revenue by 5% over the month. Now this could be a goal, or this could be a primary result indicator. But how will you achieve it? Or how will your business increase revenue by 5% month over month? Unless you know this, whatever you are doing by repeating the same thing, you cannot increase this. Getting the point? Let's say till now you are able to close only 10 position in a month. Now without making any change in your actions, how can you increase this 10 closure to 20 closures? So if you have to improve your result, if you have to increase a better thing, you have to do something differently, no?
Yes, Vivek. We have to be more.
Unless you know what are those activities, you will never achieve your goal. But figuring out how to achieve that objective is challenging and often overlooked. With a surplus of available data, the trick is determining which metrics will influence or lead to our primary KPI. Now this term KPI is coming again and again. Do you know what KPI is?
Key performance indicator.
No, what does it mean? That to abbreviation I know.
Okay. Like what are the things majorly we need to focus more on?
Anyone
To
else?
attain, to
Mahesh
attain
has
or
spoken a lot. No one else is speaking. Karuna, any idea?
Sir, it is basically the indicators that whether we are achieving the goals or not.
These are the measures of your goals. how much, how you are doing it. So they are measures on let's say my goal is to start a business, or let's say my goal is to increase the revenue by 5% month over month. Now, how do I achieve this goal? My goal is to increase revenue by 5% month over month. What are those performance indicators that will ensure that I am achieving this goal? So my performance indicator could be I'll have to increase my sales. I may have to cut down on the cost. My revenue can increase two ways only, no? Either you do
Yes.
more sales
Decreasing
or
the
you
product
reduce your
cost.
cost, or you do both. So you have to set what are those primary indicators that will ensure that you are moving towards your goal. If your sale is increasing, that means it will result either you acquire more customers every month, or you increase your product price and get more revenue, or you decrease your costing. So what are those primary indicators that will help you achieve this goal of 5% increase in revenue month on month? Right, so these are known as KPIs, or key performance indicators, and they play a very major role in your performance management system.
So Vivek, but this key performance indicators will be purely decide whether we are just reaching our goals or not. These are the major
These,
indicators, I guess.
these are metrics that are used to measure whether
Okay,
you are achieving your goals or
got it.
not. Or they indicate whether you are moving towards your goal. So let's say, for instance, Mahesh,
Okay.
in your company, in your role, what is your goals? You must be given some goals, no?
Yes, Vivek.
What are your targets?
Targets in the sense, it will be like in a week, like we have a deadline to close critical demand, especially like from last 2 weeks. In a week, like we've closed three positions. Those are on top critical.
See,
So
that cannot be your goal. That cannot be your target. Your target must be something broad. This could
okay.
be an indicator. Let's say I will close these most critical positions so that you achieve your target.
In the sense,
Hmm.
uh, like we are saying about annual target or else kind of
Correct.
thing.
Annual target.
Yeah, annual target in the sense, most probably, like we need to just get a closure of 80 closures in a year, and raising the revenue, like we'll have a gross profit kind of
Mhm.
thing, like margin should be there, Vivek, by it will be
Correct.
like need to be increased every year. That would be.
So there are certain goals that are set, and then are the KPIs. KPIs are the measure which indicates whether you are moving towards your goal or not.
Yes.
Now, what is the importance of lead indicators? It many times only measuring the result is not sufficiently. It does not give you a sufficient clear picture of how sales machine is performing, or whether you or your performance is up to the mark or not. Here is where a leading indicator can give you some useful insights. Let's look at three situations where it becomes critical to track leading KPIs. First thing is, it takes time to see the result. So let's say your annual goal is you will increase the profitability by 50%. You will come to know only after a year that whether you are able to increase the profitability by 50% or not. And to achieve that, you need to implement a new process. And the results are difficult to measure, because sitting today, I cannot measure whether next year I'll achieve this or not. And this is where These lead indicators play a major role that helps you keep track of whether you are going to achieve your results or not. And that is where, they play a major role. Some common indicators. What are the lag indicators? Lag indicators are total sale volume, margin sold or discount given, growth in recurring contracts, cross sale on current clients. These are all lag indicators which helps you determine what goals are being achieved. Read it carefully again. I'm sure this will confuse you a lot, but yes, this is a confusing topic, but then you need a clarity on it. Read it carefully. Now see the lead indicators. Sales meeting, pipeline weighted value, opportunities added, opportunities lost. Can you see the difference between lead and lag? Read it again. Lag measures are talking of the results. Total sale volume, margin sold or discount given, growth in recurring contracts. Let's say total sale volume. Lead measures are something that indicates whether you are achieving sales volume or not. Unless you do X number of sales meetings, you cannot do more business. No.
Yes.
So lead indicators are the actual activities that you do to achieve your lag measures or results. Is this clear? You can ask any question because this is a little confusing thing, but a very critical aspect, especially when it comes to performance management. Most of the performance management fails due to poor goal setting. No questions asked. I assume that it is understood. So I'll just move ahead.
Just a slight confusion, Vivek, by
Yeah,
between the lead indicators and lag indicators.
yeah, tell me.
Can you please just give in a single shot, like, or else cut short thing?
While running slide, I'll not be able to do it. But just
Okay.
take one lag indicator. Let's say total sale volume.
Okay.
Or let's say total sale volume and margin sold or discount given. Two lead lag indicators. Let's say total sale volume is one lag indicator. Let's say your target is to achieve 10 crores of sales volume.
Okay.
Right? That is a lag indicator. How will you achieve 10 crore of sale volume? That means you'll have to meet more people.
Yes.
You have to sell more product. Probably increase the cost of the product, reduce the cost. There are multiple activities that you might need to do, right?
Yes, Vivek.
Now read the lead indicators. Sales meetings. Sales meeting means the more meetings you do, more sales will happen.
Yeah.
Now could be proposal sent could also be one. Unless you send a proposal, how will you sell a product?
Correct.
Just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Purnima. No. You'll have to give me some time. I'm in a session. Let me just finish it. I'll give you a call back. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. So understood, Mahesh. The lead measures,
Yes,
lead
Vivek.
indicators will indicate whether you are going to achieve your lag measures or your result or not.
Okay.
Like I gave you my example. No? Let's say I have to lose X kgs of weight.
Yes.
So it says I must walk every day 5 kilometers. I must reduce the intake. Now I can measure, and this actually happened. I still have a mobile app which measures every activity that I do. Whatever, how much ever I walk, I can measure, the calorie
Yes,
count.
calorie consumption.
What I eat, it measures everything. And that helped me, I was religiously following it. Though I lost the habit, I was kind of, you know, even if I drink a water, I'll mention it. Yeah, I have drank, I had a water.
Okay.
That was the habit. And that habit kept me on my goal. Every time when I was burning more calorie, more than what I ate, I was getting more confidence. Yes, I'm moving towards my goal. And that's the magic of measuring the lead indicators. It helps you keep on the goal. You know, if you remember when we were small, in our class, the teachers used to give us, prizes, good marks, class monitor. There were so many rewards, small rewards that were given to us. Why were they doing it? Those were those encouragement, those were those lead indicators. Yes, you are doing something good and you are moving towards your goal. Every time when you are scoring well in your unit test, you got more confidence. Yes, I will do well in my final exams. Because this is building the foundation for me, isn't it? So those are lead indicators. Now suddenly KPI, KRA. So KPI, have you understood? These are the performance indicators. Your lead indicators are also known as KPIs. Now KPIs is a HR term. Lead indicator was a terminology given by Franklin Covey. So to relate it simply, key performance indicators, as the name signifies, is the financial and non-financial metric used by the firms to gauge and fortify the success towards the goal of the organization. So KPIs are those lead indicators that help you keep on the track, that helps you track your goals, whether you are moving in the right direction or not. After the ascertainment of organization's mission, identification of stakeholders and determination of goals, the progress toward goal is evaluated through key performance indicators. For example, sales meetings or calls. Clear?
Yes, Viveka. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The different type of organization have different performance indicators, such as KPI of business entity can be income percent. So it all depends on what your goals are. If your goal is revenue oriented goal, the KPIs would be related to that. If your goal is, let's say, quality oriented goal, the KPIs would accordingly be changed. Likewise, the pass out rates of a student is a key performance indicator of a school. Now, most of you are from business schools. How do you evaluate or how do you identify which is a good campus? We all, when, like, let's say Taruna is doing MBA, Shravani did it, Kritik is doing it. Your first goal would always have been IIMs, right? Your first goal or first aspiration would be getting registered into IIMs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because
Why everyone aspires to be in IIMs or IIT?
because IIMs is having a brand in the market, and at the same time, there will be more weightage in the market for IIMs.
A very
The
simple,
quality of them.
a very simple. There is no quality. No one talks about quality. We are Indians. We go to IIM because we know once we get into IIM, we get a campus placement and easily 10-15 lakh rupees compensation we'll get.
Hmm.
Right? You all have done MBA, right?
Yeah.
You have done MBA because you were told without an MBA you'll not get a good job. Or you have done MBA to learn something. Mahesh is doing PGDM now. PGDHRM, right, Mahesh?
Yes, Vivek bhai.
Why?
Just for my business, I'm just learning a few things. What are the major things we need to learn to just start my business? And
You,
parallelly, it will help.
you have enrolled into PGDM because people have given you a sense that without a PGDM, your growth would be limited.
Yes.
Hmm? Be trustworthy, man, be honest to yourself. I also
Yes.
registered, the same PGDHRM which Mahesh is doing, I also registered for it. I completed my 3 semesters. I haven't appeared for 4th because I have lost
Yeah.
confidence. I know
Yes.
this, I had joined it because I thought this will help me get into a good corporate HR. Now I've realized, and now I don't want to get into corporate HR because I know they need me to guide them.
Correct.
And I don't need a degree for that. Because if I had joined that course for learning, I would have done it on a priority. Anyways, that was my goal and my target. Yours might be a little different, but yes, that is how the KRAs and KPIs are set.
Okay.
Now comes this another animal called KRA. There's a most commonly and misunderstood term called KRA. What is a KRA? Don't say key result area, that I know I've written it. But what is a KRA? In simpler terms, KRAs are basically your lag measures. Let's say organization has set a target. Let's say an organization has a turnover of 100 crores now. They want to clock a turnover of 200 crores. Now to achieve this 200 crore or to increase this turnover from 100 to 200 crores, they will have to do different activities. The activities could be sell more product. The activities would be to get more customers. The activities would be to get into different geographies. The activities could be to sell the product at a higher cost. The activity could be to generate more revenue through services. These are nothing but their key result areas. What will help them achieve their goals? See, there is a very fine difference between KRA and KPI, or the lead measure and lag measure. Lag measures are the activities or the goals that will help them achieve the main goal. If I sell to more customer, my overall revenue will increase. If I increase the price, my revenue will increase. If I go to more geographies, number of customers will increase, my revenue will increase. Right? So KRAs are the result areas that will help you, that will ascertain whether you achieve your goal or not. The KRAs can be understood as the fundamental area of the outcome for which a department is accountable. Now let's say in HR, I'm sure Mahesh and Kritik and others who are working, you would have been given certain turnaround times, or there would be some parameter of satisfaction.
Yes, Vivek.
Why do you think that these indicators are taken? Or let's say you are given a target of not having a turnaround time of more than 48 hours. Because that is one KRA that can help you achieve your goal, which is a better satisfaction or better employee satisfaction. Right?
Yes, Vivek.
So KRAs are those activities that help you achieve your goals. KPIs are those indicators or the measures that help you ascertain whether you are achieving your goals or not. So KPIs are the indicators, KRAs are the actual activities that you do to achieve your goals.
Okay.
I mean, have you understood the difference between KRA and KPI?
Still
So,
confusing.
what is it like about productivity? Is it based on result area or performance index?
Means,
I mean, suppose like we have, just as you mentioned, we have our own individual targets, like make so much number of calls or
Yes.
bring two sources every day. So is it associated with the performance
Or
or
customer satisfaction.
no, this is not satisfaction, because the company would have set goals. Now,
yes,
like Vivek, where you are working, no, they would have their own revenue targets.
correct,
How will they achieve the revenue target? By placing more candidates.
correct,
To place more candidates, they need more candidate to be sourced.
yes,
This is how it is linked. So now, if you have been given a target for sourcing, that becomes your KRA.
okay,
You will source 2 candidates every day. That means, let's say 50 candidates in a month.
yes,
Because if you are sourcing 50 candidates in a month, probably 1/5 of them would get selected, or 1/10 of them would get selected.
and,
And that's
Yes.
how the company's target would improve.
so okay, so what would be the performance index there? Like,
Performance indicators.
yes,
To source 5 candidates, so let's say to source 2 profiles,
mm,
what were the challenges that you were facing?
like one is getting the aligned means getting the right person in terms of the
Expectation.
profile,
Yeah.
That
getting the
means
right person.
to get to right person, you have to screen more people, right?
Yes,
So your indicator could be the number of screenings that you do every day, or let's say every week.
okay, yes, okay,
No, as I told when I was on the weight loss thing, I had to walk for some kilometers every day. And for me, the indicator was, if I did not walk this period thing, that means I'm not going to achieve my goal. So that's how these metrics are defined. We'll do an example on this. Then it would be more clearer. Now, this is the example. This is just example to show you. We'll do exercise separately. Now, this is a sample of cascaded KRA. Cascaded is how the organization goal comes to the individual goals. So now the company goal is to increase net profit by 20%. Now this is organization goal. Now let's say there are different departments which help the company to achieve this, and one department is sales department. Company goal is increase net profit by 20%. Sales department goal is increase market share by 35%. Because increasing market share by 35% means it will increase the number of customers. Increase in number of customers will result in increased revenue, which will again result in increased profit. And this is how you contribute towards organization goal. Right? So you have seen company goal, you have seen departmental goal, then comes individual KRA KPI target. Now, if it is a quantity-based target or a quality-based target, quantity-based is to achieve this, or let's say to increase the market share by 35%, the simple KRA could be to increase the number of clients, right? If you have more clients, market share will increase. How will you measure whether you are doing it as or not? Number of client would be a measure. So your KRA is increase clients. Your KPI is the number of clients that you are signing every month or every week or every day. And your target is to have 20 new clients. there is a quantitative target. Qualitative target is reduce customer complaints. Because if customer complaints are reduced, means that customer satisfaction goes up. Customer satisfaction, increased customer satisfaction can lead to better result or better sales. In turns leading to increase in market share, leading to net profit increase. So reduce customer complaints becomes your KRA. Number of customer complaint received becomes your KPI, and your target is to have 0 customer complaints. Is this understood? I've just tried to take examples that are, simpler. Any question on this? You guys are so quiet. Anyways, I do not have to add anything to it. My suggestion is this presentation is there on the portal. Please reread it again. And I'll showcase certain real examples of KRA and KPI in the next session. And then we'll do an exercise on it. Is it fine?
Sure,
Yes, sir.
Vivek.
The next session would be on Wednesday.
Okay.
I wish you a very happy Holi for all of you. I don't know whether you are going to celebrate it or not, because the way COVID is increasing, whether I don't know whether you guys will celebrate or not. But since Monday is Holi, we'll not be having a session on Monday. We'll connect on Wednesday.
Happy Holi, sir.
Happy
you.
Holi.
Thank you. I still see a lot of, silence in this group. Better engagement will lead to better understanding. This is the last leg of your program, and this is the most important aspect. Every company, big or small, is today concerned about performance management. Let's focus on it. Read it again. We'll discuss it again on Monday. And in all your performance setting or performance management, this is the most critical aspect. Setting the goals, setting the KRAs and KPIs. This is where majority of HR fails. And if these concepts, if you discuss in your interviews, you're bound to succeed. Kritik, you have to be careful about it because you are on a hunt like others. Others are also hunting. This is a very key concept that most of HRs fail. Fine. We'll connect on Wednesday next. I'll go through these presentations and we'll discuss it again on Wednesday. Fine.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sure.
I'll share this recording again. So that initially whoever has missed can go through it. Fine?
Sure, Vivek.
Chalo, good night. We'll meet after Holi.
Good night, sir.
Good night.